Hello everyone, it's Kathy Champion, and you're back here in my craft room and on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as you can see, I have a new bundle here. This was one of the pre-orders that I was able to obtain when I placed my pre-order for the brand new upcoming catalog. And this is called Timeless Arrangements, and it is just that. It is a great way to make an arrangement using your dies or your stamps. We're going to use the dies today because I really want to concentrate on exactly what we're going to be doing with these particular dies. And it's the one with the leaves. You've got a couple with flowers and some with some little greenery, and then you've got some other ones that you can use to fill in, like more little flowers and more of the greenery. And they are just absolutely precious pieces to use. So we're gonna work together with this and see what we can come up with. I'm gonna leave all my die pieces sitting right here because I want to die cut first. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and grab. If you notice, I have several pieces of our new cardstock. This is our Lemon Lolly. It's a beautiful, soft, springy yellow. This is our Moody Mauve, Very Berry, Pretty Peacock, which if you were in Stampin' Up! A couple years ago, you might remember Pretty Peacock. And then this is just some basic white and black. And this is a piece of designer series paper that I pulled from the paper that's called Fresh as a Daisy. And if you notice what I did, I cut this piece out. This was not one that I was real crazy about. I mean, it's pretty, and I've got another one like it. But I cut this one out because I wanted to use this background for a focal point on my card. So I'm going to show you what I have in mind, and I am pretty much flying by the seat of my pants, so to speak. I just got back home late yesterday evening, and I really kind of struggled all morning with what I wanted to do, and I tried several things. I didn't like anything that came together. So with all that being said, I decided that I was just going to turn the camera on and just give it a go. So here we go. We're going to give this a go. Let's go ahead and do our card base itself first. And I already cut my card base, and this is a typical A2 size card. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and folded to give us a nice, beautiful card. Now I cut this piece, but I cut it the size of the square it was, then I trimmed it down just a little bit because I wanted a 3 3 3/4 by 5, and that's what this piece is cut down to. But I want to mat it on the white with a piece of black. So in order to do that, I need this piece to be 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to cut 5 1/4 this way, and that's just a tiny little scrap, by 4 1/4 this way. And there is that piece. Now this should mat on here. Well, oh, I did it 4 1/4 and I meant 4 inches. I knew that didn't look right once I laid it on there. I was like, that's a little bit too big. All right, let's try that again. We'll cut this off, and then we're going to glue this onto here. Something like that. And then we're going to take that piece of the Moody Mauve, and that's a designer series paper, and we're going to mat that on that. And you see how pretty it is when you mat? It really gives your card some depth. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take a piece, another piece of basic black. Oh, that's a little bit too big. So we can get a smaller piece. I think this piece will work. I want to cut a flower pot out of this. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to cut this. This piece is about the width I want it, so it's about 3 1/8. And I'm going to cut this at about 2 1/4 inches deep. So give that a nice little slice. Now what I want to do is I want this pot to be, it's going to be like a flower, a planner. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. I'm going to line it up in the track, and I'm going to bring it over to about 1/4 inch like that, and I'm going to slice that down just like so. And then I'm going to turn it over on this side, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it, yeah, like that. So that corner over to here, and we're going to cut, if that's not right, let's turn it this way. And we're going to cut from this side up to there. So I'm going to bring this down. Nope, that's not right either. Let's go like this. I think that's right. Yep, that's what I wanted. It took me a minute, but hey, I think I got it. So you can see now this has the angle on both sides as a flower pot would have. And I'm going to cut about 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 inch piece to go across the top here, because I want it to look like a planter. So I'm just going to glue that across the top, and then I'm going to angle cut it off. I think that would be the best way to do that. Let's get that piece out of our way, and I'm going to run a little bit of glue right along here. And then I'm going to lay this down right across the top. I'm going to let it hang off just a little bit. Let me get this real quick. Nope, that wasn't anything I need to be concerned about. I want to make sure my husband wasn't messaging me, because I wasn't sure what time he was going to get off today. So anyway, I'm going to angle cut that up and angle cut this down. Just like that. And now we have our flower pot with a little lip on it. The reason I wanted it this big is I want to set it down kind of to the bottom, because I want some sprigs of flowers coming out of the top, and then we're going to use this to put our sentiment on. So I'm going to go ahead and do some die cutting now. So I'm going to bring up my little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and y'all know I love using that one when I can. It fits so nicely on my desk and allows me to get it in the full range of the camera, which is always nice when y'all can see the entire process. So I'm going to open this up, and I know that I'm going to need some leaves, and I'm going to do my leaves out of the Pretty Peacock because it's just so pretty. And I think I'm going to put one maybe right here, and maybe we'll do this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little post-it flags, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that one down there and this one here. Let's grab our plates. So with this one, I'm going to grab my number 1 plate and a number 2 plate and lay this on, and then we're going to put another number 2 plate over, but I'm going to scatter my plates so that this will feed through nicely. And here we go. So that felt like that everything went through like I needed it to. So let's pull these off and see what we got. So this is good. That is so pretty. I'm going to pop that little piece out there. That is good. And then let's go ahead and get this side out. And pop that out. Oh, those are so cute. Alright, so we have those two done. So now I want to do some flowers. And I think for my flowers, I want some in the berry burst. So let's do this one here. And this one here. And go ahead and cut that out. And I may go back and cut a couple more of the little flowers out of this. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And this here. I'm going to go ahead and anchor those with that so that they don't shift or move out of my positioning. And I'm going to run that back through. And pull these out. And that one's out. And this one is out. Just make sure you pop out any of your little pieces that might not have came out. You want to make sure that all your pieces are out so you don't have to deal with that when you get ready to put it onto your flower box. So we're going to leave this one lay over here in case we feel like we need some more of that color, but I think we're good. Now we're going to do, let's do the Moody Mauve. So those are beautiful. All right, let's lay this one up here and then lay this one here. And let's lay that one there. And this one here. And let's go ahead and tape these down. And we're going to scatter those plates again. And let's go ahead and crank this one through. And let's see what we have. Okay, we got this one. Very, very pretty. It's definitely different, but not in a bad way. So let's get those pulled out. Take a look at this one. That one's pretty. Then we got a couple of the little florals. And let's get our take your pick tool. We do need to pick a little bit of this out. Just pop these out just a tiny little bit. Just like that. All right. I think other than doing some of the lemon lolly, we've just about got everything stamped out. So I'm just going to go over my little cutting mat and make sure I've got all of the little dooflotchies off of there. And I'm going to grab a small piece of the lemon lolly, and I think for that I'm just going to go ahead and cut it about like that. I keep having stuff that's falling down over here, and that's driving me a little bit crazy, but y'all know how that can be. Alright, we're going to go back in maybe with this one and this one. So let's go ahead and adhere both of these down. Grab our cover plate. I am trying to keep everything straight so that I don't have give me just a second and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I am so sorry. I thought my camera was recording and it wasn't, but all I'd done was I put my pot down at the bottom with double dimensionals, so I have double dimensionals under here. And then I started building my flowers inside, and you can see I just basically laid them out, and I've got some that are stuck to my actual pot and some that are stuck to the back of the card, but you want to make sure everything goes down where the spar goes below your flower pot. So here's one that I'm going to stick in, and I think I'm going to put this one maybe right about here. And if you see it's going to hang over a little bit on one side where it's going to be hanging out, just take your scissors and clip that part off so that it will sit in like that. So that one's going to go right like that. So I'm going to put glue to the front of this. If you need it to stick to your pot itself, you want it to, your glue on the front side. And if you want it to stick behind your pot or to your paper, then you want to make sure that it's to the back of it. I hope that makes sense. So there, that is going down. Now I've got a few little spriggies that I want to stick in, and I think the only one I'm going to use is this one out of the Berry Burst. I always suggest to cut more than you need, so that way you have multiples, and you can always use them, you know, later. And you can always go back and cut some more if you need them. So not a big deal. Just you want to fill your pot basically. It looks like we do need a couple more over here, so maybe I'll take these and stick right there. So, you know, just add them in as you need them, and that's going to go right about there. And I think that's going to be plenty. I think that's going to give us all that we're going to need. So now we have this on the front of this. We are ready to put this onto our black mat. But before we do that, I want to get, I want to cut a piece of white. Let me grab a scrap of white. This would be good. And what I want to do is use the dies that are inside of your die set, because you've got lots of little pieces in here that you can very easily use to cut a frame that you can put on your pot. And I think that would be perfect right there. So I'm going to cut this out. Maybe I'll stamp first. I want a sentiment, so I'm going to look at the stamp set itself, and I think I'm going to put "You Make Me Smile," or "Your kindness means everything to me." Let's see what that one looks like. "Your kindness means everything to me." Let's see if that's going to fit over it. I believe it will. Pretty much. I'm going to stamp this first. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it in. Let's get a Stampin' Pierce mat to go behind it, since we are using the photopolymer. And I'm going to stamp it in the Moody Mauve, since we have that color in the background. I think it'd be really pretty. So I am going to tap, 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 and then stamp. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty color. And then we can lay this over it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's going to be absolutely perfect. So let's lay this on here like that. Oops. Want to get it straight, not that crooked. Something like that. I'm going to pull my little plates out, and I'm going to cut this on my little machine because I can. Cut it through just like that. I think this is just such a neat way to make a pot of flowers, and I think this just is going to turn out so pretty. So now we can put this just like that. I think I might bring it up right to the underside of that. I don't want it to go down just a hair. But what I want to do is put some dimensionals on the back of it. So I want this to sit up just a hair as well. So I'm going to put one there and one there. Pull my backers off. And let's bring this piece back over to here. And I'm going to set that on there just like that. And now we can put glue on the back of this. And then we can set this whole thing down. Like so. And then the whole thing can get adhered to our card base. And look how beautiful it is once you put it on that white. Everything seems like it pops. So I'm going to bring it back up and I'm going to put glue again on my black piece. And there is our card. And how pretty did that card turn out? Again, I do apologize for not my camera not being on when I did this, but you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can actually bring your sprigs up and just curl them up just a tiny bit. If you want to, you can come back, and I think I am going to do that. I'm going to come back and lay a couple of dimensionals underneath. I think by doing that, I'm going to peel this off and put that on there just like that, and lay that down like so. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I think this time I'm going to take the backer off first, and like this. And like that. And press it down. I think I'm going to put another one right up in the middle of this just to stabilize it a little bit more. And slide that down right in the middle, like so. And there is our pretty card. I think this card is so elegant, and yet it's just one of those cards that you would love to give to someone. And then for our inside, we could very easily do a black mat with a mauve mat and then maybe a white mat. I think that would be pretty. So let's go ahead and cut some more mats to go in here. So I have another piece of white. I want to do a piece of black. So let me grab a scrap. I have any scraps over here that's big enough, and this looks like it will work. So we're going to do black first. So this one is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 this way, by 4, sorry, by 4. And that can go in like this. And then I'm going to get a piece of that beautiful Moody Mauve. And this is so pretty. And I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. By 5. And then that can go in on our black mat, just like that. And now we need another piece of white, and this is going to be 3 1/2. By 4 3/4, just like that. And this is going to layer up beautifully, and we can put a big thank you inside. I think that would be really pretty. So let's get a thank you and stamp it. And I'm going to go to my go-to greetings. I sound like I'm going to lose my voice. I do apologize for that. And how about this big thank you? That'll be so pretty inside this card. We can stamp it up high enough. And maybe something like that. Pick it up like this, and this is photopolymer, so we shouldn't have to do any. I'm going to kiss that stamp with the ink pad with the stamp, and I'm going to come in right about here and stamp it down. So pretty. Look at the richness of that ink. So pretty. Now I want to come in, and I think I'm going to use this little circle. This is such a quaint stamp, and I think what I want to do is I want to just put some little circles here and there, but I'm going to use a piece of grid paper on top of my on top of this. I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat. I'm going to put this down and then this, and I want to stamp. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. I'm going to put just a few little stamps here and there. A little bit right here in the corner and in this corner, and you still got room to stamp, and yet it gives it a little bit of decoration on the inside that I think just makes that look so pretty. So I'm going to bring this over, and we're going to put everything together now. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal on this because it's just going to be a nice, fast, easy way of getting this adhered down. And just like that. And turn that over and do the same thing again. Little Stampin' Seal. And then this is going to go onto our black mat. And then everything can go into our card just like this. So I'm going to go here and here, here and here, and a little piece here and there. And put that right there, just like so. And there is our beautiful, beautiful arrangement on our card. Is that not lovely? I love the way this turned out. I'm going to zoom in. Straighten that up just a hair. Such a beautiful card. What do you think? I love it. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you love this bundle. What you have seen here today, all of these supplies will be available on May the 2nd when our new catalog goes live. I can't wait until then. Such a joyful arrangement, timeless arrangement, which I think this is going to be a stamp set because we got so many things, so many sentiments on here, and the dies are absolutely beautiful as well. And I think this is going to be a set that we're going to be using over and over and over. Thanks so much. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.